Have you ever wanted to visit Santorini, Greece and thought it was too expensive? Well, let's discover beautiful Santorini on a budget. Visiting Santorini is not too far off if you plan ahead of time. First, I will talk about budgeting tips on how to get there. Then I will talk about flights and transportation needs, as well as any hotel stays and excursions that you might want to do. Let's get to it. When planning for my vacations, I plan a whole year in advance. That means that I take money and set it to the side every time I get paid. And what I use is the Capital One money market account. And what that is a high yield savings account that will help you towards your goals. So I start a whole year in advance, and then I start making the plans towards the end of the year around November or December for the following year to travel in September. When I decided to go to Santorini, Greece, I wasn't sure the exact route on how to get there. So what I decided to do was take a 3-part trip since I was already going to be in Europe. So my first stop was going to be Paris, France, and then I wanted to visit Italy, and then lastly, Greece. So what I did was search for the most affordable flight into one of those places. And the most affordable was to go to Paris, France directly from Atlanta. So I found a flight that was approximately $600 round trip. And then once I got over there, I was able to take the budget airlines called EasyJet, which was very affordable. So the trip going from Atlanta to Paris was $600 round trip, and then to Milan and then Santorini, those trips was less than $400. So I've spent a little less than $1,000 on my flights to go from Paris to Italy and then finally Santorini, Greece. Both was either on Delta Airlines or EasyJet, which was both very affordable at the time. So traveling a certain time of the year, like September, when the off season, is probably going to be the best bet to get the most affordable flights for you. So for your transportation needs, do you really need a car once you get to Santorini? And the answer is no, there are plenty of options. However, if you want to have your own transportation, then there's taxis, scooters, car rentals, quad bikes, and there are plenty of local buses that will take you around. However, once you get into the towns, the best bet is to walk because you could cover more grounds, and you usually cannot drive into the town areas. So you could drive on the outskirts, but you will have to find parking, which can be difficult at times. However, if you decide to rent a car, the average cost to rent a car in Santorini is around 45 euros per day, and that's probably not including the insurance. Other alternatives such as scooters, motorcycles, that might run you around 25 to 50 euros per day. Whereas ATVs, what I call four-wheelers, can cost you around 50 to 150 euros per day. And I did see a lot of people with the four-wheelers or the quad bikes or whatever you might want to call them. They did have those, but it can be dangerous if you're not familiar with the roads in Santorini. If you decide to take a taxi, you can arrange that through your hotel, which would probably cost you $40 to $50 euros each way. And if you're traveling with the group, then that can be the most affordable route, especially if you have a lot of bags with you. Also, you can take the local bus. The local bus will run you around $2 to €2.50 euros each way on a bus. However, you have to pay in cash, and it's only for one way, and no transfers are included with that. Also, it can get crowded at times, and if it gets crowded, then you will have to wait for the next bus to get you back into town or wherever you're trying to go. The most popular towns to stay in Santorini are Fira, Frastefani, and Mercurville, and Ia. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. My apologies. I decided to stay in the town of Mercurville, which was about 15 minutes from the airport. And the name of the hotel that I stayed in was called Phaos Santorini Suite, which you could find on booking.com, and the link will be in the description. What I liked about this particular hotel was, number one, that it was close to the airport and the customer service. The accommodations and sea view was great. I stayed in the grand suite because it was approximately 4 of us traveling, and it was enough for us to be accommodated with all 4 of us. Also, breakfast was included, which helped us save money on the days that we were there. We didn't have to purchase breakfast, which was great. So, 4 of us sharing those accommodations, the cost was about $164 for 3 nights for each of us, which was pretty reasonable for the time of year that we went, which was September. Santorini offers a wide variety of activities and attractions throughout the year, such as the blue and white dome churches, which are beautiful. Then you have the medieval towns of Thera and Ia, along with wine tasting and delicious food from the local restaurants that you can try. What we decided to do when we first got there was take a local tour with welcome pickups, which was about 2 hours long. We went to the highest point in Santorini, which was a high, steep climb going up there. I had to close my eyes while we was on our way up. It was about 567 meters above sea level or something like that. But when I tell you that steep was high, it was high. But once I got up there, the views of beautiful Santorini, it was gorgeous and well worth the hike. After we took some pictures around the blue domes, and then we went to Red Beach, then you have Black Beach and White Beach. Each beach offers something unique. Just be aware that if you go into Red Beach, usually people park on the side and then they walk down this steep climb of rocks. I don't highly recommend that. However, if you want to, you can take a boat ride and it'll pull you right up to the beach, which seems to be the safest route in my opinion. However, there are plenty of things that you can do. The next day, we did a cruise along the sea, and it was absolutely beautiful. The water, though, was a little bit chilly for September. It was a little bit cold. You could get used to it, but it was a little cold for my taste. However, the views were beautiful. We was able to have lunch on the boat, and we were able to see the sunset, which was absolutely gorgeous. Well, all in all, for our 3-day trip, it was wonderful, and I wouldn't mind doing it again. Well, I hope that this helped to start your plan for your trip to Santorini, Greece. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below. And if you like this content, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, and remember, an informed decision is always the best decision. Take care and have a great day.